Following Her Majesty the Queen's recent announcement of a 4-day bank holiday next year to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee, I thought it might be fitting to do a video on whether or not you can organise a street party. But first of all, if you're new to me, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I'm a barrister who helps you understand law. So with that confirmation of a 4-day bank holiday next year from the 2nd to the 5th of June 2022, many of you might be thinking about organising a street party to celebrate along with Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. Her Majesty will be celebrating 70 years on the throne, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to celebrate such a fantastic event. Britain will be afforded an additional 2 days off for the bank holiday, a perfect opportunity for celebration. So let's look at what that might entail. If you wish to host more than just a private garden party, such as a full-on street party, there are several things that you need to take into account. First of all, that you will need an applicant or a nominated person who's going to be in charge of the overall event to take care of each of these things that you need to consider. If you intend to have a lot of people involved, such as the entire street, you can even apply for a temporary traffic restriction in the interests of safety. In these sort of applications, you will need to provide emergency telephone numbers so that someone can be contacted to discuss the arrangements. You will need to show that you've contacted anyone that's going to be affected by the road restrictions, and you must arrange for a minimum level of road signs to show what is happening and why the road is restricted. The sorts of people that you should contact about such a street party would obviously be local residents, local businesses, local parishes, taxi operators, any other landowners, and of course all of the emergency services. Onto licences and insurance. A street party by itself does not require a special licence or insurance, although being a lawyer I would obviously say you should seek insurance for public liability just to cover yourself if you're the organiser and everyone at the event. As to licences, there is no specific licence to organise and hold a street party, but the difference comes if you have the intention to provide alcohol. First of all, you must obviously be aware of the laws of providing alcohol to those that are underage, but more particularly if you're planning to sell alcohol. And remember that alcohol is still deemed to have been sold if it's included as part of the ticket entrance. If you are only going to share alcohol amongst yourselves, then you won't need a licence. But if you plan to sell alcohol at your street party event, you're going to need what's called a temporary events notice. This is a relatively straightforward form which will tell your local council who you are, what you're planning to do, when it's going to happen, the time frames and all these sorts of things. There's a nominal fee attached which is usually around £20 or so, but you'll need to check with your local council for their particular form and their particular fees. You will also need a temporary events notice if your entertainment is going to continue beyond 11 PM at night, which includes whether food and drink are served after 11 PM. As to music, now whilst you do have to keep the noise levels at a reasonable level, so long as you're not advertising the music as an event to attract people from an outside area and it remains as a private street party, you won't need a particular license. You will also need to make sure you're not making money for the event, and then there'll be no need for a license, whether it is live or recorded music that's being played. It's a similar position with food. You can serve and share food without any particular license, again so long as it doesn't continue beyond 11 PM, in which case you are going to need a temporary events notice again. If you're thinking about selling the food on some kind of fete or so on, then you're going to need a street trading license, which is a separate issue altogether. If you're planning to hold a tombola or a raffle, then you probably don't need a license for this either, provided that the collective value of the tickets sold on the day and the prize value does not exceed £500. In this case, you are likely to be exempt from the gambling regulations. However, be careful not to sell tickets in advance for this event, because then you're going to be caught by lottery regulations and you will need a lottery registration. There are very specific laws around fundraising, many of which can carry criminal penalties if you don't comply with the law. So make sure you seek formal advice on anything that you plan to do in that respect. Finally, for the cleanup, you need to ensure that someone is responsible for cleaning up the street afterwards. Whether it is a collective effort or whether one person is responsible for it, it needs to be done, because again, there'll be repercussions if a street party leaves a lot of litter and rubbish behind and no one has cleared it up. You may very well find the council coming around to find who was responsible for organising the street party in the first place. So I, for one, am very much looking forward to the celebrations next year with Her Majesty the Queen for her Platinum Jubilee. It really is going to be a once-in-a-generation and for many once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I hope you all enjoy the celebrations and stay on the right side of the law and the guidance. You will need to look on your local authority's website for the form for a temporary events notice. just to be on the safe side in case things go beyond 11 p.m, just in case you decide to sell alcohol on the day or serve food later than 11 p.m. and things like that. But otherwise, I very much hope you enjoy it. Drop your questions and your comments in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.